Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. It's Samp&Chance Wrestling. On this episode, we are going to break down SummerSlam, take a look at the card as a whole, the fallout from it, what happened last night, also AEW, what's happening over there in the world, the show's building up to the Wembley show. So all this and so much more on this episode of Samp&Chance. Thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. It is Tuesday. That means it's wrestling, and I'm joined with the man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how was the long weekend, bro?
It was pretty good. How about yours?
Can't complain, man. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, made some money at the same time, so everything is beautiful. Yeah, can't complain.
Nice. Good.
Just another day in paradise, man. Just grinding away, trying to make ends meet and trying to make things happen, man. That's it, really.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, I wish I could say something more exciting, but that's really it, man. I just my mind's focused. All I want is boxing, wrestling, and success.
This is a very good goal. It's hard to achieve, but at least you got the mindset, right?
My mindset's there, and we're already achieving it, right? We're getting closer and closer every day, right? So,
Yep.
Time, patience, and dedication, and I think that's what's missing with most people in the world.
Yeah, I agree with that. Totally.
Awesome. All right, man. Talking about time, patience, and dedication, let's get right into SummerSlam, man. Let's break it down. Before we get into the matches, overall, your thoughts on the show?
Good, not great, because like I said before in the preview show, this is going to be a predictable show. We basically guessed everything. Maybe besides the Gunther thing, I got it wrong, but I wasn't surprised. But some of the matches were good, but it wasn't great. It was too predictable and boring as far as the outcomes. But some of the in-ring work stuff was good. But I'd say it was average SummerSlam at best myself, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed some of it.
Yeah, I enjoyed most of it. I thought it was good. I mean, again, I went in with just thinking, okay, we already know what's going to happen, right? I mean, come on, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we can use that argument every time we preview.
I know that's why they got to change it up, and so we can't get it, and they swerve us and holy crap, this is so cool. It's
no, I get that.
We'll get into as we break the matches down. I'll get more detail of it.
That's wrestling as a whole, not just WWE, though, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Especially lately, though, it's become so boring and predictable as far as the outcomes. I'm not saying the in-ring work isn't great. Some of it was good, some of it was bad, but we'll get into it as we get the match.
Right. So my point is that I'm not looking at, because we already know. I get it, right? So I focus more on the in-ring and what they're trying to produce to get to that result that we already know, so to speak. And to be fair, I thought they did a good job for the most part. Yeah, there were some, moments there, here and there. But overall, I thought the show was good. I mean, it flowed really well. Only 7 matches. I mean, you look at an AEW show and it's 4.5 hours, but you feel like you've been sitting there for 4 hours plus, right? Yeah. This show, I didn't feel that. I haven't felt that with WWE, so they got that going on pretty right.
But anyway, the show's done quick, but they gotta spice it up. It's too even keel. Got to get some highs and some lows. Take out a roller coaster. Everything's even keel with these guys now. But we'll get into it as we break the matches down.
All right, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. World Women's title. We already knew, we both kind of picked Liv to win this match with Dominic turning. The way they did the turn, though, I thought was really interesting. I mean, there was nothing to hide about it. It was just so clean cut. Like he was literally pointing to Liv to tell her where the chair was and whatnot, right? I mean, so, yeah, predictable. But I mean, I thought the match
That's the problem. Good. That's the problem. Too predictable. Why not swerve us? Why not? Dominic was luring Liv in just so Rhea could beat her. He smacks Liv with a chair, pushes her down. Rhea gets the win. They walk off as a couple. Something like that, but we wouldn't predict to happen. They gave us exactly what we thought was going to happen. Then it takes away from the match because even my kid who was 8 knew that was going to happen. He's 8.
Yeah.
So the match itself wasn't bad.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a nice return for
And I'll say one thing. They got a lot of heat off of that match. Yesterday, they totally dropped the ball with that. They could have had Rhea come out and Liv and do a segment or something. Instead, they muddled them in, the Rhea, Dom, and Liv stuff with the Judgment Day, kind of got muffled in it. I think they had a big opportunity to take some heat with that, and they totally dropped the ball following up on Raw.
I disagree, but we'll get to that. Overall, the match was decent. I didn't have a problem with the match at all. It was what it was. It was expected to be what it was. So, I mean, again, we'll just leave it at that. But to say why I disagree with that. I thought they did it well because both members of that Judgment Day, the two original members, were the ones that got screwed. If you think about it, right? Even before Dawn, even
Yeah, but why
before.
not build off that? Why not build up the Live Heat? Why not Rhea say you
But
cheated on
that's
me?
what they're
Have
trying
a
to do
segment.
here, and that was the way they were trying to do it, though. Because
No, I know, but that doesn't look. That comes across as lazy writing. Like this has had the most heat, and they didn't. They dropped it again. I think. But
all right. Number 2, Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. And I told you this is the way this match was going to go, man. It was pretty much a squash, right? That Money in the Bank match pretty much didn't exist. It made it feel, right? Like, just the way Braun dominated him. This is what Braun should have done at Money in the Bank, but they did it here. Like, I mean, yeah, Sammy got a little bit of offense, but they really made him the powerhouse. And this was the shortest match on the card, only 5 minutes and 7 seconds.
I'm glad they didn't let Braun get the win. I'm glad he, beat the crap out of Sammy, but it was too little too late because we've already seen Sammy beat him clean. We've seen Sammy beat Gunther clean. Now all of a sudden Braun's a monster who Sammy can't defend himself. It's bad booking again. Although I'm glad Braun won, but I don't like how they did that. They should have had a more of a even-keeled match because Sammy's already beat him clean.
LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the United States title. You know what? I didn't have a problem with it. I thought these two guys worked really, really well together. Logan had that one good spot out there with the flip. Man, he looked really good, man. That was just a solid.
I said it 1,000 times. All the hardcores and all the IWC, he's probably the best athlete on the roster. That was probably the best move of the night. That was a sick move, the way he nailed it. Great match. I'm glad LA Knight won because Logan doesn't need the belt. It was a good match. They worked well, good chemistry, and one of my favorite matches of the night. They did good. They knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, no, and the right guy won. I think I don't think Logan needs the title right now.
No,
anyways.
he doesn't need it.
And then kind of, I think it just helps.
LA needs it because he was at the top of the heap. He's kind of fading down, mid card level. Get him the belt, US belt. Get a little more juice on him. Pump him up a little bit, and you can have a new program with whoever maybe.
Nia Jax versus Bayley Women's Championship. Okay, so Nia, I'm happy that she won. She deserves the title. She deserves the spot. And I had picked Tiffany Stratton to come and kind of do the swerve here, but I mean, she did come out, and she caused a distraction, which allowed Nia to win. So I guess this is something that's going to build now for a little while. And
finally they did something good. They let Nia beat Bayley. I'm so glad the belt's off Bayley. I'm totally like this match. Booking was good. Nia got the win how it should be, and it was a good match. I'm happy for it.
All right. Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Special guest referee Seth Rollins. Seth came out with the ref cam, but disposed of it because the battery pack fell off, so he got rid of it. They got to work on that a little bit, I guess, to kind of make it work. But I mean, it's something they were trying, right? I mean, so they gave it a shot. This match was great. I know you thought Punk was too slow, just
very
on
slow, frail. He made a couple good moves off, but if you watch him run from ring to ring, like from post to post, he's so sluggish. I think he's only got about 3-4 matches left in him. His body's shot. And he's just the years of wear and tear in his mid-40s. And it wasn't a bad match. I mean, he did good for his age. Put a couple good moves off, but you could just see he's out of breath right away. Like he doesn't have the cardio anymore. He's a frail old man. And some guys age better than others. For some reason, he hasn't aged that well. His body's beat. But it was a good match. I mean, I don't know. Seth's pants, though, those were very, very silly. I don't know if he's going to space with those, but it was a good match, though. It was better than I expected.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good story. I mean, if anything, the storytelling was done really, really well. You could feel the emotion, you could feel the energy. That's what I was looking for in this match. And they told that story really well. And this thing can go, like as we saw on Raw. I mean, it's not over. There's so many different avenues and paths that these three can take together. I have a feeling we're going to end up with a triple threat match here at some point. I don't know where, but I mean, we got that Berlin card coming up, so I don't know how this is.
Well, this whole match is about the bracelet, right? The dog, the bracelet that he got, Larry, the dog, his wife's name. They were doing the bracelet back and forth, and I mean something different. At least they have some sort of story.
No, it's cool, but it just shows that Punk is kind of so preoccupied on something so trivial that he's not, focusing on the other things, which caused him to lose, which caused him the problems he had on Raw. So I mean, I see the story here, right?
First match in 10 years, and he lost his first match back, which I think is good because the way he left and stuff, he didn't really deserve the win. So I kind of took it as like, we're not going to give you the win just because you're not going to come back and kind of, you know what I mean. You got to keep that guy in line a little bit.
That's possible as well, but I can also see it from Punk's perspective that he's kind of showing that, hey, I want to put over the right guy and do the right thing for business as well. So I mean, it's a little bit of everything there, but yeah, I agree. All right, Gunther versus Damian Priest for the heavyweight title. We both said Damian. We thought Damian should have walked out there.
I don't like this.
You don't?
No, I wanted Damian to keep the belt. I don't think Gunther's ready yet. Like, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying Damian Priest is Hulk Hogan with the fans, but like you said, you give the guy a little bit more time. If he's not going to be a good champ, take it from. I think it's a little bit rushed. He's only had the belt for how long? Has he had the belt for? A month? 2
He's had it
months?
for 3 months.
3 months? Yeah. It was a good match. Like,
No,
I
wait,
think Damian's going to be better.
April. He won it at Mania, right?
So 4 months.
Yeah, so May, June, July. Yeah, we're going into 4 months here. So he had it for 4 months.
I think he's going to be better as a face than he is as a heel because I don't know. But we'll see. But I don't know. Gunther, I don't know if he's ready yet. But hey, we're going to find out. Shake things up sometimes. I'm not too against it, but if I was in charge, I would have kept Damian with the belt. Let Gunther chase him.
We know Finn was about to do something at some point. I just didn't realize they were going to employ the Judgment Day the way they did at SummerSlam, right? Dom, we knew. I didn't expect Finn to do it as well, right? So you have Dom and Finn flipping on these guys, and you basically have the two original members of the Judgment Day, right? The ones that Edge had recruited originally. It was just a 3-man or 2-man, 1-woman crew sort of a deal. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic to see the two original members,
the two best members of Judgment Day.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
And Damian are out. Now you're left with Carlito.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a silly crew.
It's a silly
We're
crew.
We're going to see a tag match eventually. We're going to see Liv and Dom versus
Damian and Rhea, right? Yeah, and that's what I think they were building up to. That's why they kind of had that interaction. I mean, at the end of the day, the issues that she has with Liv are one, but how can she deal with Dom I mean, she could probably beat up Dom by herself. I get it, right? Probably. But I mean, this kind of shows that alliance now with Damian and Rhea, the two biggest forces, the ones that were holding that whole group together. Right. I mean, it's an interesting.
The two most talented people in that group are out, so I don't know what this leads for the Judgment Day. We'll find out. Well, Finn's got to pick up. You can see
a bit more of a ruthless version, like a younger, kind of hungrier version. I don't know. Let's see what they give us in the next few weeks.
I think the Judgment Day is going to disband in a few months here because it's kind of losing its luster. You got the two best out. So, we'll see.
Well, we'll see. But in Gunther's case, you know what? I thought, I agree. Like, I thought maybe it was too soon for him. But I mean, I forgot the storyline with Randy Orton, which we saw emerge last night on Raw. I know, it just I think that's a great start for him there. Like, start with Randy. Let's see what you can do. It's a different thing. And the story's built in. I mean, he won the King of the Ring, but his elbows were up or his shoulders were up. Right. It was never really touched upon after that. I mean, you had that controversy. Everyone said referee's decision. But what a way to bring it back into full, into context again. And I think this is a great first offense.
So I think I just didn't realize until Monday Night Raw. One of the main reasons they gave Gunther the belt, I think 90% of the reason, Bash and Berlin's come up. They want him to have the belt going in there, make the show more hot, sell more tickets, and pump the crowd up, which I don't blame them at all. So that's probably why Gunther got the belt.
I think the way they're going to play this out now, once Cena starts his role, and if Gunther has the belt, this would be the best guy for Cena to kind of go after here, right?
Get it off,
and to take it off of him, right? So you could give Gunther a taste of it. I mean, if you think about it, you look at Gunther and you look at Braun Strowman or Braun Breaker. These are the future of the company. These are going to be your main, your top guys in the next 2 to 3 years, right? So this is good. I get what they're doing. I understand it. It's like when they gave Randy the belt the first time. It only lasted a month, but they gave him a taste, right? So, after that, Randy is where Randy is now because of that, in essence, right? So let's see what they do with it.
I don't know how long Gunther can be a top guy for. I can see him kind of fading down a little bit, kind of like an LA Knight thing. Gunther's not even that over. He's a great worker. Don't get me wrong. He's not that over. We'll see how well he can hold up at the top. I think in 6 months we'll kind of see him float down to LA Knight level.
I think as a heel, he's a lot more over than people realize, because it's really hard to be a good heel, like a legit good heel, right? Gunther encompasses that completely. Like, you just hate the guy. There's nothing to like about him.
Yeah, he's smug. He's good at what he does, but I don't know how well the IWC likes him. We're gonna find out.
I don't care about those guys, man.
They drive the company, right? They control the main.
I don't know if they drive the company, man. You say that all the time, but I just don't see how much power they have, man. Like,
well, they changed the main event at WrestleMania, so that's pretty big, from Rock and Roman to Cody and
I don't know if they specifically.
The hashtags on Twitter, dude, and the chanting in the crowd. Even Rock said it. They did a switch around. Triple H and Ori said we can keep it. He goes, no, the crowd doesn't want it. We got to switch. So they switched.
No, no, I get it, but I mean, it's just the crowd's reaction as well. But
But
anyways,
it's the hashtag and
yeah, I guess so, man. I forget about that stuff sometimes.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
They run the show.
let's close out the show here. The man returns. Solo Sikoa against Cody Rhodes Universal title. Everybody was just waiting and waiting. I think really this whole match was just a filler match for the
Absolutely.
return of Roman, right? I mean, I don't have anything against Solo, but I just think he's useless.
He's not a main eventer.
Here's some of the things that I took away from it. Okay, honestly, when they showed them walking into the stadium, Cody's dapper. He looks good. He's wearing his suit. You know, what have you. Like, you're invested in the guy somewhat, right?
Hold on, I want to bring this point up. Thank you for bringing that up. I brought this up many times in the show. You're right. He looks great. He dresses great. I love the way he dresses. That's how a heel should dress. How did Gunther dress on Raw? Wore a suit. So what I'm saying is the reason why heels wear suits like Ric Flair is, and Flair will tell you, because most people can't afford a $30,000 Rolex watch, $1,000 shoes, Armani, Gucci, all this stuff. They can't afford it. That's usually the faces don't wear the suits, but the heels are supposed to wear the suit to piss you off. That rich man, I can't afford that. So Cody, like I said, he's a jerk off camera. He needs to become a heel, and he'd be a natural at it because he dresses like.
Eventually, it's gonna happen. But here's the point I was trying to make. When they show the Judgment Day walking in, why is he in a gray tracksuit? Like you're the guy going up against, in the main event, and they show you walking in just like a tracksuit. Like, at least wear your black shirt and your pants or something. Like, I don't know why I really picked on that.
Talking about Solo?
Yeah, with Solo.
He's just not a main eventer, dude. He's just not.
No, well, Jacob, and that's why they held off on Jacob Fatu for so long, because they were afraid that he would overshadow him, and which he has. I mean, if you think about
it, but now he's hurt though.
Well, he's hurt too, right? I mean, that was a hard spot, but I mean, it's okay for now, right? It'll work out. I mean, but ultimately, this was the issue. Like, if you ask me personally, I think Jacob Fatu should have been the new tribal chief in terms of this storyline. He should be playing the role of Solo Sikoa. He talks better. His facial expressions, he moves.
Solo can't talk at all.
Well, he moves better for the size of that man. The way he jumps up onto the top rope, the way he does, the way he flies, his expressions alone. Like, I mean, he is the ultimate package, right? In my opinion, anyways. Like, so, but again, it was all about Roman coming back, and we debated this on the show. Like, I don't see how Roman can come back and save Cody. It just doesn't make any sense. I got pie on my face, man.
But then again, buddy, you just said it right there. It doesn't make any sense. But you got to look who are booking the show.
No, but
don't make sense.
But
I have to keep on it, man, because the way they do this stuff.
You sound like a broken record, bro, sometimes on that.
I got to tell the truth, man. My obligation is to come on here and tell the truth. And I don't want to sugarcoat anything or like, oh, I like Triple H as a wrestler. Or I like Shawn Michaels as a wrestler. And I got to call it like.
How do you know that they're the ones making all the calls and the decisions?
Well, because you heard Triple H
and you got all those other people.
You heard Triple H name on Raw. That's nothing I got to bring up. The first 30 minutes of Raw, you heard his name like 10 times. The guy is such an egomaniac. We don't need to hear that all the time. We get it. You're booking the show. Stop putting yourself over. Stop coming out. Stay in the back and write a better show, dude. Because we heard your name, I think it was 8 times in the first 30 minutes on Raw. It's just too much. Too much. They want to get in your head. This is Triple H's new era. And like, but what are you producing, dude? You're producing stuff that 8-year-old kids can guess. Like, you got to switch it up. And I like Triple H and I like Shawn Michaels. I hate having to say it, but I got to tell the truth. Like, I don't want to sugarcoat anything. And there's no point in me podcasting if I can't tell the truth. At least how I see it.
No, it's fine, man. It just seems like you're so repetitive. Sometimes it just gets too much.
I gotta tell the truth. They don't like you said, it didn't make sense with the Roman thing. I told you Roman is coming out to do that because they don't see it that way, dude. They're stuck.
You didn't let me finish my thought, though. You didn't let me finish my thought. What I'm saying,
finish it.
I have pie on my face because I didn't see how he could come back this way at SummerSlam to save him, right? Like, we drew out different options. Okay, Cody wins, they beat on him, then he comes, sort of a deal, or whatever the case may be, or even Solo winning the title and coming out. But the way they did it really, really well. Like, he didn't even look at Cody. He went straight after the bloodline to say that this is what I'm here for, not you. I mean, he could have easily attacked him as well and taken him out if he wanted to. Roman looked great. I just liked the way he did it. and kind of set that up down the road. Like, okay, we'll meet again, but for right now, I need to take care of this business, sort of a deal. So they did it really well. I was
Well,
okay
he did
with
it all right.
how
I
it
mean,
came
we
out,
all knew it was coming. He saved
right?
Cody in essence. He beat up Solo, but he saved Cody, helps Cody get the belt. They will team up and they'll do a Survivor Series match, Roman Cody guys versus Bloodline.
No, no, I don't think Cody would be a part of that. It's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. Cody has nothing. I think right now Cody has
Maybe.
a break. Cody has a break right now from all of those guys. He can go focus on other things. I don't know who's going to challenge him next. I mean, there's really no one on that roster on the SmackDown side who's at that level, in my opinion, right now that can even do anything with him. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of curious where they're
We'll
going to
see.
go
I don't know.
with
We'll
this on
see.
Friday.
I got a feeling you'll team with Roman. We'll see. You could be
I
right.
don't think so. I think the Bloodline's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline at Survivor Series. No Cody.
Maybe.
He's going to be doing his own thing. But we get Survivor Series here in the city, man. It's going to be pretty exciting. I'm excited for the show. I wish they did it at BC Place, like I told you. You could hold more people. Tickets will be cheaper. But I
But
mean,
they
this
can't
is.
put 50,000-60,000 for Survivor Series. That's why they're doing it at GM or Rogers Arena now.
I know what you're saying, but I think they could though.
In
I'm on
America,
the
they barely
opposite thought.
got 53,000 or whatever, 54,000 for SummerSlam. You're not getting that for Survivor Series.
I think you could here. You got people coming in from Seattle, you got the West Coast, you got people coming in from different places. Like, trust me, I think they can fill it out only because Vancouver, like you said, it's one of those cities that starved, right? When we do get a house show, we sell it out. When we do actually get a program here, we sell it out, right? It's always a sellout
It's
here.
better to have the building full than like what they did at SummerSlam. They had 25,000 empty seats. They had the black tarps over them. It's better to fill the building than have that. So I think it's a good. I agree with them. Rogers Arena is where to go for this. WrestleMania, of course, BC Place, but this one is good at Rogers. Get 16,000 there, whatever.
I'm just trying to find a way that we can get better price on tickets, man. This show's going to be expensive.
And since Ari's took over, here's another thing people don't realize. Since Ari's took over, the tickets have went up by 200%. Some of these front row seats are $750, $2,500. Nobody's gonna pay $2,500. An average guy's not paying $2,500 to watch Sami Zayn and Kevin freaking Owens. Come on, man.
At WrestleMania 20,
price up.
at WrestleMania 26, we were in the upper lower bowl. Okay, for WrestleMania 26. Great seats, everything. Guess how much we paid for those?
No, $100.
45 US.
Yeah. So that's about $890.
Right? I mean,
people forget we're sitting. All these bloggers and pod guys that they sit there and they tell you Triple H could walk on water, but realistically, Ari Emanuel's about the ticket prices up way more. Vince always did this. He kept it family affordable because he realized wrestling's a circus, it's a carnival show. Keep it reasonable. I mean, front row is always more, but you want to get your kid in, and your wife, you can get in for a couple $100 with some pops and parking. But now it's all went up.
I have a feeling by the end of time, like if the three of us go, like I'm talking about me and the family, take the family, you're looking at an average maybe $600 for tickets, maybe if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go in there, the little one's gonna want merch.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that in, throw in a couple of drinks, some snacks.
Yep.
4-hour show, 3.5-hour show. You're almost spending $1,000, maybe $1,100 for three people.
Yep.
Crazy, brother, man.
Sorry, Emmanuel, man. He's a businessman. He's a shark.
No, for sure.
McMahon is a shark too, but he kept it family affordable. He always had that in mind.
Yeah. All right, man. AEW, we talked about it last week because we did a late show, so there's really nothing per se that I have to say about AEW. We talked about Shane. We talked about Dynamite. Normally at this time we'd be talking about Dynamite now, but we've already touched on it. So is there anything you're looking forward to in AEW coming up, or anything that you want to see happen?
Well, I mean, the only thing that they need to do is they got to top that match between MJF and Ospreay at Wembley. Could they? Possibly. Will they? I don't know. But that match there, I know it was a little bit too long, but that's the best match we've seen in wrestling on TV in the last couple of years. That's including WWE, TNA. They knocked it out of the park. How do they top that and build on that? I don't know. If anybody can do it, it's Will. So we're gonna find out.
I think they're gonna have a great match again. I don't know if it's gonna be better or worse, but I really feel it's just gonna be the same quality match. I think the difference here is the fans. Now we're in Ospreay's backyard. He's got the fan support, and those guys are loud. So I think that crowd is going to add an element to the match that we didn't have here. That's going to make it stand out a little bit more from that perspective. Not so much the match itself. I think the crowd's going to change it here. But yeah, looking forward to that.
The AEW, I mean, they do have some good matches. Like I said, probably the last few months, I think AEW just one match of the whole show. Like, WWE's still better, but if you're taking one match, like the Daniel Bryan matches that he had with Pac, those are still better matches that you're seeing on Raw and SmackDown. But the whole show overall, Raw and SmackDown is better. But I'm just picking, if I could pick one piece of AEW Dynamite and take it out, they do put on some banger matches once every month or two. But the problem is there's too many duds in between. WWE is more consistent.
Yeah, it's more consistent. And again, it's the storytelling again. It's like I'm looking at some of the match listings and like, okay, why are these guys friends now? Like they were kicking the shit out of each other 2 weeks ago.
Some guys were saying yesterday, when what was it, when Rollins was in the ring there, chatting up, and then all of a sudden Bronson Reed comes out and just starts attacking him. Well, what was the reason for that? There's no story there. They're just throwing Bronson, beat him down. He splashed him 15 times or whatever it was, and now we got a feud between Rollins and Bronson. But where did that come from? To me, I see that's AEW booking.
I think well, no. I hear what you're saying, but every story has to start somewhere, right? Now you had Bronson in the back earlier. You had to see that segment as well, where he was complaining to Adam Pearce about opportunity, and like how can he have a title shot? Like I've done this, blah blah blah. He went out there and he did what Bronson Reed was trying to do earlier, or sorry, what Braun Breaker was doing earlier when he got there. Like if you look at Bronson, he's a guy that should be contending. He should be, up there with these other guys, right? And now I think what they're trying to do there, they're putting him with Seth. The story had to start somewhere, right? So what does he do? He wants to make a statement. He goes
well, why take Seth away from the CM Punk Drew thing?
Because now you can focus on Drew and him for now. Take the heat off of that. Let that Drew and Punk thing happen. Now you got Seth in a program. He can elevate this younger talent. You got to keep in mind, guys like Seth.
I get what you're saying, but when I see stuff like that, I think AEW. That's AEW booking.
Okay, but dude, you have to also look at the backstage segments which lead up to that.
No, I watched the whole thing. I get it.
So then you can't say this came out of nowhere.
That's just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, and
maybe it'll be wrestling in general. Like if you think about
it, but that's what I'm saying. That's the same thing AEW is doing. That quick booking that makes no sense. Throw a guy out there, hit him.
No. WWE does a little bit different. The one thing I'll say about Raw last night, that was more of a reset show than it after normally WrestleMania is like the reset show, right? You didn't really get that with this WrestleMania afterwards. I feel like this SummerSlam, you had so many title changes, everything, like the whole landscape has changed now, right? This was kind of like that reset show. Like, okay, for example, you could say on Raw last night, why is Odyssey Jones here when he came out to help the New Day? But again, if you watch the segments afterwards, you can see now.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you, they book they have a better roster than AEW. So if you got better talent, you can produce a better show. They got like an all-star team. AEW is like the Cleveland Browns. They got a couple stars, but a lot of duds, right? For example. So you're gonna. I see a lot of similarities between the way these guys are booking the shows. I'll say one thing right now. Raw started out really good, and then all of a sudden, what do they give you? They give you Sheamus and Kaiser for 10, 15 minutes. It is the first hour of that. There's no commercial, but then you got to sit through Sheamus and Kaiser, like just out of the blue, backstage, had a segment, away they go. And I like seeing Sheamus, but to me, he started out so hot, and then he kind of lost some of the interest, the way I see it.
So the difference with AEW and WWE is at least they continue with the storyline once they start something. AEW gives you something, and then they completely drop it right away, right? So at least you're going to get something now with Seth and Bronson. At least now they're building up on the other side there with this Odyssey Jones showing up out of nowhere. If you look at the segments, you can see Apollo, or what's his name? The guy with the big afro.
Who?
Oh, not Kofi, the other one.
Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods, thank you. Apologize for that. His name's Apollo as well, the real name. So Xavier Woods, like you can see, hey, where's this guy come from? So you can see that turn's going to come now. You know what I mean? Like I can see it. Like even in the ring, he didn't look, if you look at Xavier's expressions and stuff, like he was kind of taken aback. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? He wasn't embracing him like Kofi was. Even backstage, he wasn't embracing him like Kofi was. You know what I mean? So at least WWE, this is what I'm trying to say. WWE at least gives us a beginning of a story, and we can see it through a little bit, right? My problem with AEW is they do the same thing, but then they just drop it right there and then. So there's no follow-up. There's no like, okay, this happened, blah, blah, blah. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is both companies book very, very similar a lot of the time. So obviously WWE is a little bit better. They got more experience. They got better writers, and they got a better roster, hands down. But I
Well,
see a
like
lot
I
of
said, they've
similarities.
hired more writers. They've come in, so we just have to give it some time and see where they kind of go with it all. But yeah, I hear you, brother, man. All right, I tell you what, let's wrap this puppy up here. It's been a good, great show. It is Tuesday. The week has just begun, so there's still lots and lots to do. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And everyone else, remember, do the things that don't do the things that justify your life. Do the things that make a change in your life. And people, listen, don't stop working hard just because people shit on you or mock you. Don't, just keep going strong. And if you ever need anyone to tell you you're doing the right stuff, reach out to us. We'll tell you. No, 100%, man. I mean,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
there's enough people in this world telling everybody they're shit, they're no good, and I'm sick of it, right? Because
No,
those
that's good.
guys,
It's good to have that
those
positive mindset.
you've got to keep it going, man. Every day is never going to be perfect,
Yeah.
but if you work hard, even the days that aren't good come out to be okay. Samp and Chance, have a great rest of your week. We will see you guys on Thursday.